So what do you think of when you think of Ireland? Green fields? Narrow country roads? Irish dancers? Castles? Guinness? Sheep? St. Patrick's? Well, there's a lot more to it than that. We start in Dublin, then down to Waterford, then down to Cork, up to Limerick, then on to Galway to see Cong. Dublin is the capital of Ireland. It was founded by the Vikings, and it's home to 1.8 million people. Dublin is famous for Trinity College, Ireland's oldest university, founded in 1592. The Temple Bar neighborhood and the Guinness Brewery.
Today we're in Dublin and we're at the Guinness storehouse.
The Guinness Brewery was founded by Arthur Guinness in 1759 with a 9,000-year lease. The Guinness storehouse is a 7-story excuse for your parents to drink more beer. The 3-hour tour shows how the Guinness is made. And in the Guinness Academy, you can get a diploma that says you know how to pour the perfect pint.
We're finishing off the brewery tour with a pint in the gravity bar. Today we're in Dublinia at the Viking section, and you can try on some clothes here.
The Dublinia exhibit shows what life was like for ancient Dubliners.
The chainmail here is very heavy, and it's hard to believe that the Vikings were the center. It doesn't have very good maneuverability.
Today I got to write my name in Viking language.
The exhibit includes a mock Viking longhouse.
Instead, the smoke went out through a hole in the roof. It didn't always work though, and inside would have been smoky and smelly and dark too. There were no windows in those days because they let out the heat. Maybe you're starting to see why people like to spend time outside. Inside a Viking house wasn't much fun.
In downtown Dublin, it's very energetic and the scenery is beautiful. There are lots of street performers and some of them are pretty good.
Dublin basically has the best street musicians that I know of.
Today we're visiting Waterford, the place with the very famous crystal, and today we're going to see the factory.
This is a real crystal block, and the seahorse represents the company. Waterford's world-famous crystal factory has been making crystal in Ireland since 1783.
I also have here a blocking tool. The blocking tool is used to smooth the sides of the crystal to get rid of any unwanted lumps or bumps in the crystal. And once again, if you'd like to pass it around. Each of these wooden tools lasts for about 3 to 7 days, and for that reason we're very, very lucky to have John here on the premises to produce them as we need them.
You're very welcome to our blowing section. Here our master blowers are at work. All of our craftsmen here have trained for over 8 years for their craft, so they are expert master craftsmen. Our craftsman here is using a long metal rod called a blowing iron to lift the crystal. He lowers the piece down inside a cast iron mold, and this iron mold indicates that this piece is an everyday production piece. You'll notice over the top of the mold some excess crystal is growing in kind of a mushroom head shape. This is called the cap, and the cap's only function is to attach our finished piece of crystal to the end of the blowing iron. At a later stage we'll actually remove this cap from the process entirely. Now the glowing orange colour of the crystal has nothing to do with any kind of dye added to the furnace. This is simply because the crystal is extremely hot, and as you will soon see, the crystal will cool completely clear. At the moment, the tank furnace burns at 1,400 degrees Celsius, and our craftsmen will collect billets or collected amounts of molten crystal from the back of the furnace using their blowing irons. The piece here will receive its first of 6 different quality inspections. And if it passes by quality inspection, in a moment it will receive a blast of cold air and a blast of cold water. And that will help it to detach from the end of the blowing iron. After that, the piece will be moved inside the kilns. And the kilns are the giant ovens on the right-hand side of the room. This is where the crystal is cooled at a gradual and controlled temperature. If the crystal were left to cool at room temperature or to cool too quickly, it would be prone to bruising, fracturing, and on occasion explosion due to air pressure, and we don't want this. The crystal will stay in the kiln for about 10 hours, and then tomorrow morning at 5 a.m. our craftsman will check inside the kiln or the crystal inside the kiln, I should say.
To our cutters, because usually they won't draw on the entire pattern. Usually they'll draw on about half the pattern, about 50% of the pattern, and let the cutter do the rest by memory. So once again, our cutters have absolutely phenomenal memories. Here are working with 2 types of cut, and I have an example here of both. First of all, there's a white cut.
Since this is a newly cut glass, it's still quite heavy. I want to work at a crystal factory.
Today we're in Cork's world-famous English market. The English market in Cork has dozens of little stalls selling tons of tasty treats. Most of it is local and organic too. When we were looking in here, we found this little coffee shop and I ordered a carrot cake.
Here we're in Ireland, and I'm driving. We're in a cathedral center. That was great. Couple of points.
It's a little sketchy.
A little sketchy.
It's not bad now. It's day 3, I think. 3, 4.
Of driving, yeah.
Of driving. And after having driven on some of the little country lanes, this is kind of nothing.
Today we're visiting the Charles Fort in Kinsale, Ireland. Today we're in Charles Fort, a fort that was heavily influenced by the French military engineer Vauban. As you can see, the fort is shaped like a star. So if you're attacking from here, it can be defended by people here, and people here, firing on you in 3 different ways. While if you're attacking here, the same thing applies. But if you, say, breach through this corner of the thing, you can be repelled by people here, and here, all shooting at you there. Today we're in Limerick at King John's Castle.
King John's Castle started construction in 1212, so this castle is over 800 years old. All the history here is really cool. I was even able to hold a sword in the blacksmith shop. Right now, we are in the blacksmith shop where all the weapons and armor were made. Playing with the swords and putting on the armor was really fun. There was a really cool stonemason's shop that showed how the castle was built.
We stumbled upon this abbey known as Ard Fintan, and as you can see, it looks really cool.
The abbey was constructed around the year 1460, but by the year 1812 it had been abandoned. So, today we visited the abbey, or where the monks live. And right beside it, there is a farm. My brother wants to touch a lamb, but it didn't work. Today we're in the town of Cong, where the movie The Quiet Man was filmed. Today we are going to hike the nature loop outside of Cong.
The forest that we're about to visit, most of it was planted by Arthur Guinness, the founder of the Guinness Brewery.
Arthur Guinness brought trees from all over the world and planted them here in this park.
On this hike in Ireland, we found some very big sequoia trees.
Sequoia trees come from the west coast of North America and are some of the largest living things on this earth. This is actually one of the trees that Arthur Guinness planted.
Ireland is really full of surprises. I don't want it. You want it? Come on, bud. Yeah.
Ireland is full of surprises.
This is the monk's fishing house, which was built in the 15th century and is still used for fishing to this day.
Literally millions of barrels were lining the whole thing.
Yeah, that's grand, isn't it? Oh, £1.50.
Perfect.
The bars here in Ireland have very good music and very good food.
The bottom line is, Ireland is everything you expect it to be. It's the things you don't expect to find here that make Ireland so special.